protein recommendations. Now when it comes to carbohydrates, I have in parentheses low. So if protein is quick and long, carbs is defined in terms of low or high. And low simply means that these carbohydrates, if you ingest these foods, it won't raise your insulin quite as fast as some of the high carbs. So, and we'll go into that. But the low carbs, if you eat eggplant, cauliflower, or cabbage, your insulin won't go up that fast. The reason being is your blood sugar doesn't go up fast. So carbohydrates generally increase your blood sugar. These foods don't raise your blood sugar and hence don't raise your blood insulin levels to a high degree. Now there are the moderate to high carbs, and eating these foods will certainly raise your blood sugar fairly quickly and raise your insulin levels as a result. But it turns out moderate to high carbs are safe or recommended actually in the post-workout phase. And what I mean by that is things like oats, yams, brown rice, wheat bread, or pasta are generally good sources of carbohydrates in the post-workout period. And I use here portions because you can certainly eat too much of anything. And when it comes to oats, yams, brown rice, or the moderate to high carb portions, you should be under control. So I use simply the size of a mouse or the size of your fist for these carbohydrate sources. The simple carbohydrates that come from very sweet fruits that have thin skin and dark color also can raise your blood sugar fairly quickly. And these are great choices of carbohydrates in the post-workout period, in the immediate post-workout period that is, and we'll go into that. But carbohydrates, when I talk about here for moderate to high carbs, generally eat immediately after your last set, your last rep of your workout, and certainly within the hour of your, within the first hour after your workout ended, you can have moderate to high carb in that period as well. So here it is. For carbohydrates, before you eat, before you work out that is, or the pre-workout period, you eat low to moderate carbohydrates. So that is carbohydrate choices that don't raise your blood sugar that fast. During and right after your workout, you can certainly eat high carbs. And what I mean by that is choices of carbohydrates that raise your blood sugar fairly quickly and hence raise your insulin. And what I mean by high is dextrose, that's found in high amounts in your typical Gatorade or sports energy drink, starch, or even milk. There we go again with the milk. So it turns out milk not only has protein, it has a carbohydrate called lactose, and the specific combination in milk of lactose, whey protein, casein, and other potential growth factors, especially when you're talking about whole milk, that specific combination increases not only your blood sugar levels, but increases your insulin to a high degree. And again, trying to control how much insulin your body makes in the post-workout period is very important because increasing your insulin at this crucial time will allow your muscles to absorb nutrients like a sponge. And then of course, every 2 to 4 hours after your exercise bout, you simply eat low to moderate carbohydrate sources. And during your rest days, again, stick to low to moderate carbs, but again, whole foods. And what we've also known for many years now is that the rest day, specifically the morning, the first morning after your a long or intense workout day, it's actually safe and okay to eat a high carbohydrate source in the morning. And the theory behind this is that in the morning, cortisol levels are very high, which is a stress hormone in your body. And in order to fight the cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone that really eats away at your muscles and prevents you from recovering appropriately, high carbs in the morning actually help neutralize the catabolic effects of cortisol. So it is okay to eat high in the morning. So in terms of the recommendations, well, for hard gainers, we recommend to have 70% of the calories be from carbohydrates. These are just rough estimates, obviously. If you're trying to lose weight, you can safely consume 35 to 40% of your calories from carbohydrates, so the rest being apportioned to protein and fats. And if you're strength training, you can pretty much progress with having your meals be pretty much around 45 to 55% of your calories coming from carbohydrates. So these are just general recommendations, and it depends on the body type and the goals that you want from the exercise. Here is now the introduction to the so-called good fats to eat.